Namaste, Gouri Sankar. Thank you for
Namaste.
coming on this call on homeschooling.
Yeah.
I've been talking to people who got experience of homeschooling children, and I think I've not spoken to anybody like you with 4 children.
Is
So
it? Thank you.
you practically have a small school only going.
Yes.
So it will be great if you can share your experience of and I know that your children never went to school. So
Yeah.
where did the idea come from? What was behind it? And also, how is it going for you? And so your story starting from your children coming and going through this journey. It'd be nice.
Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me. And as you visited our home and you saw our children and our home environment, I mean, we never thought actually like it has to be structured this way. It has to be like you have to send your children to school to learn. It just happened organically. I mean, my first 2 children, twin girls, they were born in Mysore. So at the time I was working with a school, and I'm an academician by myself. I have a master's in physics, and I taught at central universities in India as a physics professor. Then I worked in educational projects with different companies, and we have an experience. I traveled abroad too, into various countries, so we have a huge exposure of countries and their education system and the curriculum. Everything goes on. So we, in that way, we understood the psychological aspect of the schooling curriculum, and it has connection with the culture, what kind of culture it creates in a nation. So so that was it. Then when we had our first 2 children, we were just, we created an environment around our parents, like my parents and my wife's parents. We always have that connection. We always kept them around them. So either my parents or her parents, they're always with the children. So we made sure for first 2-3 years. So that was, and the natural learning did happen. I mean, we never taught them ABC or A, and 1, 2, 3. We never forced them. It just happened, and they were much more learned compared to other children who are going to this nursery, pre-nursery schooling. So then we thought, okay, it's just going fine. Then since I was, and my wife is a teacher too, she qualified B.Ed teacher. So she has experience with working with young children. So I mean, what we're doing was completely fine, and they were just naturally they're learning. So when we go to new places, they were just absorbing the environment, and they're learning new languages naturally. They're making connections of complicated things in their own way. So it becomes, then we thought, if we put them in a school, it will actually channelize them to a narrow path. So we thought, okay, let them learn from the world, and we will do what we are doing. And that's how it went on. The experiment with our children. Yeah.
So how old are your kids? The elder ones are 10, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The twins?
Yeah, we have 4 kids. Elder 2, they're twins, twin girls. They are 10 years of age. And the second one is a boy. I mean, the third one is a boy. He is 7 years old. And we have a younger one. He's a boy too. He is 3 years. Yeah.
It's wonderful. And as far as I'm concerned, it was a great experience meeting you all and meeting your children.
Yes.
It was a great pleasure. So I'm sure you all have got it figured out. I'm saying it's working for you all.
Yes.
from whatever we could see, it looked like it's working for you. It's working for your children.
Yes.
In terms of how what I noticed also was how how much at ease they are with adults, you know.
Yes.
They were seeing us for the first time. We go in and they don't have any no barriers.
Yes.
So which is also unusual. When children go to school, one would think that the socialization is a big issue that people talk about, but it looks like your children are more socialized than the children who usually go to school, you know.
True indeed. Yes.
It's almost like the experiences that they've been through or they've got seems to have made them better able to socialize with other children and with other parents or
Yes.
other adults, you know.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, we have noticed too the same the observation you made, that when children who go to school, they always has preconceptions,
right.
and our children doesn't have anything, so they just soak up the world as it comes to them.
Right.
So that newness, so with that newness, they're always learning. They don't have a like a preconceived idea, this is what it is, so we need not to learn or inquire anything more. But these children, our children, they see whatever they see, they try to understand from the whole perspective, and they ask questions, and they're always inquisitive. So that is quite interesting compared to the school-going children and the homeschool children. Yeah, that's another observation we made.
It's also I don't know if it was an idea that, I mean, impression, but what I also noticed was that your kids seem to be more curious about things. It looks like children who go to school, they get a little, what can I say, tired, because there's so much information being sent at them, and a lot of this information is not something that interests them or anything. You know, it's just it's a task that they have to go through.
Yes.
So if these children are not going through a task, it looks like there was this. What can I can call it only a curiosity in the faces or in their interaction with the environment around them.
Yes.
So I thought that was a very good thing. I mean, both my wife and I we were very happy to have met you all.
Yeah.
And you know, so how is it going from the academics perspective? How are you all managing it?
Well, I mean, we actually set academics, the curriculum, and as a extracurricular, and we made at this age, like at young age, below say 12 years age, whatever the interest, what they have as a main course. So as if now the children are learning classical Carnatic music, that's their full course. We have gurus around us. My older daughters, two of them, they're learning vocal, Gatram, and my son is learning Mridangam. So that's going on. So they play on each other. I mean, they're quite young for that, but still the interaction is happening when we go to concerts and we witness the Laya Vinyasa when that happens. When they see that and they try to mimic that same at home. So that is interesting aspect. And some of the, like my the daughters, they learned this painting and drawing is kind of a self-learned. Like I showed initially for some, like initially 2-3 years, and they created their own kind of style of drawing, painting. So that is unique too, because and whenever they hear stories, they come up with their I mean, imaginative capture of that scene, what's happening, either from Ramayana or Mahabharata, or even this Upanishadic stories, some of them, or Puranic stories, or the stories involving festivals, pujas, let's say Dashara and Diwali, whatever the pujas, and it common course. I mean, we just talk about the stories. They ask, what's the story behind this? Or they ask about, say, we go to some temple, they ask about the Sthala Purana of this place, why they build this place at this temple here. And when they see sculptures, they also ask like how they did this, how they engineered it. So all these aspects come into the picture. And when they observe everything and they created their own kind of style, I mean, even line drawing, they stuff like that. So that's interesting. Another interesting point is that we noticed that our son, Kedarnath, who is 7 years old, one day he just came up to us and he asked me, okay, teach me how to play chess. So I said, okay. And I showed the rules, how it works. And within 7 days, he was able to play, and I mean, he defeated one of my friends. So it was just natural. I mean, and he sometimes play, I mean, during that 7 days, once a while he used to, I downloaded this chess app, the computer play chess app on the computer, and he used to play sometimes. And he understood the rules playing with the computer, how the moves work. And he can understand the concept, and he could apply playing with the opponent. And that was wonderful. Like, then my friend was astonished. He said, okay, where did you learn? I said, I just taught him like a week ago. I told him rules and he just learned by himself. I mean, so he was like, oh, that was interesting. Okay, yeah, that's what happened. I mean, that we're just witnessing what's happening in the children. So how learning happens. So it was quite experience. And regarding academics, we basically teaching them how to read and write. We live in Visakhapatnam, so we teach Telugu. We speak Odia at home, so they're fluent in Odia. They're speaking, they can read and write Telugu. English is generally, it's like commercial language, so everyone knows it. So children can speak, read, and write. And my wife's mother tongue is Gujarati. So from her parents, so my child's grandparents, they're learning Gujarati kind of, not fluent because they live a little far away. So, but they're learning that. And I have a good group of friends who are fluent in Sanskrit. They're associated with Sanskrit Bharati. So the friends come over, they speak in Sanskrit. So they're getting exposure to that too. So that is on the linguistic side there. I hope the command and the ability to express themselves in any language should be so smooth. So we're giving the language exposure of our diverse Indian languages. And I'm a science teacher, so I generally teach about science in a very research way. I mean, very explorative way, you can say. So that part is taken care of. And we have lots of reference books. They go through them and they learn about, and they just come up and ask the questions. What is this and why it's happening, and how the process happened. So, and any movies we go, for example, like last month or 2 months back, we went to this Top Gun movie, Marvick. So when they saw that, just they got fascinated about the fighter jets. And it's all about fighter jets and making fighter jets and engineering of it, aerodynamics of it. So all these discussions come up. So it's going on like that. Yeah, it's quite interdisciplinary, open, and just learning from experiences. Yeah, that's what I can say.
So because you have been through the academic thing, you were doing a PhD, and you told me that you're sort of not gone fully through it.
Yeah.
So does it not bother you? I mean, I think that would be a question that comes from other people also, that should they not go through the standard process that not children, 10-year-old children have some textbooks. So does it not bother you that these children are outside that, in the sense that they're not going through some structured academic curriculum? Do you think that they will give the exams and go, and what is your idea on that now?
Yeah, I mean, the structured books, they need, and in my personal opinion, they need not to go through, because they're learning, I mean, the curriculum is quite narrow, and it is fashioned that way to channelize kids in a certain manner. So so what we thought is, let them learn what they want to learn. And as you know, we have the Ministry of Education has a body called the National Institute of Open Schooling, NIOS. they with your interest, you can sit for exams and get the certificates, which are valid everywhere in India. And you can enroll into any university you wish. So that's not an issue. I mean, and the curriculum, the 10th standard, say standard 8th or 10th, so they can write the exams. I mean, we not to prepare for it and go for going for a battle. They can naturally soak up the world. And if question comes, like say say in chemistry or on biology, like how the plant grows. Okay, they can write the description and that's it. That's about it. And whatever they're learning from the nature and the environment around them, that will be already should be in the curriculum. If it is not in the curriculum, there is something wrong with the curriculum. That's what my personal opinion is. So the exam part will be very easy from my point of view. It should be just like writing an essay without a thought. That would be the approach, I think, when they grow up by, say, by 14, 15 years age, when they write 10th standard examinations through NIOS, it should be very easy for them just to write it without even preparation. So that's what my goal is.
Wonderful, wonderful. No, I'm convinced about it because our children also, we realized they studied only 3-4 months to give the exam,
Yeah.
So if you know what you have to prepare for, it just takes 2-3 months or 3-4 months.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
And in fact, our youngest boy, we realized when there was just 4 months left for the exam that he had not sat in one place for 3 hours. So at least that practice you need. If you have to give an exam for 3 hours, you have to be able to sit in one place for 3 hours. This fellow did not have that capacity. But, so that was a challenge we suddenly realized, when he was giving his 10th board, that he had to practice sitting down and writing.
Yeah,
that was the only challenge we had. But I'm convinced, and I'm I think. But the point is, I was coming from was that you have an academic background.
yes.
Your wife's a teacher. So, and I'm sure there is a lot of pressure from outside, maybe not immediate family, other people. So, are people bothering you about this, or how are you managing that?
Yes, my parents, my brothers, and my immediate family too. They did say, "Oh, are you sending your children to school?" And we said, "No." Are you thought about everything? They said, "Yes, we did." I mean, maybe not, but it will work out. Don't worry. So it's just going on. Even my well-wishers, say the university professors, retired professors, and my friend circle who are also academicians, they do ask about. They should go to the school because the peer learning should be there, and they have to learn the social settings and stuff like that. I said that's not necessary. They are learning as part to these children who are going to school. So that's not the necessary aspect. And main thing is we wished for our children is they should excel instead of competing. We do not subscribe to competing world and competing with your own friends and that is kind of a negative kind of emotions which the schools always have. So we believe they should excel, they should be best in what they're doing, rather than trying to compete and the reward system, what we call in the schooling system, they should be rewarded for doing something. In that way, every action is perceived to be get to be rewarded. So we thought, let it be free. They should do whatever they're doing with the full 100% intention and motivation. And if you put 100%, the results will automatically come. So even the failure happens, it's okay. It's a part of learning too. Generally we witness with the school children who go to school, who, if they can't clear through the exam and their marks, grades are a little bit low, they feel claustrophobic. They feel judged. They feel, okay, they have to be answerable for something wrong they did. which that negative emotion which is prevalent in school going children, we do not want to give that space to in our children. So we just kept that aside, and we just focus on excellence and learning what best they can do. So the peer pressures do exist, but it will level out over the period of time. Yeah.
I used to think at one time that, so we also had this, obviously we faced the same things, and it was more difficult in our time because it was not very common. Now, at least people have gone through Corona and they've seen children sitting at home.
Yes.
So when our children were young, the kind of things that people used to say, like immediate family would say that let your children grow up,
Yeah.
and then they will, what they will tell you, then they will blame you for this.
Yeah.
So now that our children have grown up, and I go back to these people and say, see, I mean, it's all right. Our daughter is not angry. So things have worked out. But I think what I noticed, what both my wife and I also noticed with both of you all also as in parents, is also how settled you are,
Yeah.
So some kind of settling process has happened within you all, which also reflects in your children. I think by whatever process that has happened, that's really valuable in this mix, So
yeah, it was great. It was, I mean, when Gayatri Garu bought you, I mean, introduced you, it was quite fascinating that the journey we just began, you went through a process already. So you're like a guide or mentor for us, that you laid a path already and you walked that path, and you know what happens. I mean, we in our own way, we just started without much peers like you, without experienced peers like you. But it's fortunate that we met and came about your experiences, so we got more confident.
Wonderful. Yeah. So I think we can stop this conversation. We'll have a longer conversation. I think I've been thinking that people I'm talking to, I'll go back and talk to them again.
Sure.
And we'll continue this conversation. But as an initial introductory thing, we'll stop here.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you so much for having this conversation. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, great talking to you. Thank you. Bye.